When you care more about how you feel than about proving a point or winning an argument, you quickly realize something freeing. You cannot and do not need to convince anyone of anything. There are too many people interpreting too many things in too many directions for that to be a worthwhile pursuit. Your one job, the only one that actually matters, is to come into alignment with who you really are. When you do that, you open a connection to the energy that creates worlds. What unfolds from that place goes beyond anything language can fully capture. That's the foundation. You were born as source energy, and you came into this life with the intention of expanding joyfully. The expansion itself is guaranteed. It happens regardless. The joy, though, is a choice. That's what the art of allowing is really about. The creative process has 3 steps, and most people only understand the first 2. Step 1 is to ask. Contrast does this for you automatically. You encounter something unwanted, and desire is drawn out of you. You can't stop it from happening. Desire arises naturally from lived experience, for every species, in every form of consciousness. Step 2 is that source answers. The moment you ask, source energy becomes the vibrational equivalent of what you've asked for and holds it permanently. Then you ask for more, and it holds that too. This is true for a single-celled organism in the ocean, just as much as it is for you. Step 3 is where most people get stuck. Now that you've asked and Source has answered, you have to find a way to become a vibrational match to what you asked for. This is the part that requires practice. If you've asked for more money but your dominant thought is "I don't have enough," cycling through variations of that, noticing what others have, feeling the sting of unfairness, you are not matching what you've asked for. You're beating the drum of justification, and that keeps you in a completely different vibration than the one your desire lives in. The art of allowing is the practice of finding your way into a match with who you actually are. And here's what makes that easier than it sounds. When you are genuinely matched to your true self, you feel good. Really good. So the path into alignment isn't primarily a thinking exercise, it's a feeling exercise. You feel your way there. When you feel your way into alignment, something remarkable happens. You become a match to every nuance of everything you've ever asked for. Things come together. And then you ask for more, align, ask for more, align. And this cycle, this continuous movement toward becoming more of who you are, that's the joy of life. It's the momentum. It's the being on the surfboard. The passion you keep reaching for arrives precisely when you are in motion toward what you've become, not when you've arrived. If you're waiting for the destination to feel satisfied, you're going to wait forever. You never get to the end. There is no end. Even death isn't an ending. It's a release into everything you've been asking for, followed by a new beginning of asking for more. You are an eternal being seeking eternal expansion. The expansion is certain. The eternity is certain. The joy is your choice. If this way of thinking is new to you, consider subscribing. There's more along these lines worth sitting with. Every thought you've ever thought still exists. But thoughts don't all go to the same destination. When you know what you want and think from that place, those thoughts go into what you might call vibrational escrow, held there, becoming the substance of your future experience, the beingness of source energy waiting for you to align with it. Thoughts rooted in what you don't want work differently. They don't enter that escrow. They're not eternally held as your future, but they do remain as part of the broader consciousness around you. And because like attracts like, they can coalesce and take on a kind of energetic weight. This is the mechanism behind what people sometimes call paranormal or unsettling experiences. Nothing can insert itself into your experience from outside. You must be a vibrational match to it. But it is possible to be a match to unwanted things. Chronic patterns of despair or fear can create a kind of resonance with thought forms that feel threatening or dark, not because those things have power over you, but because you've drifted into their frequency. A useful analogy: you can read any book placed in front of you, but if you feel genuine aversion to it, that aversion is telling you something. You and that book are not on the same wavelength. The same logic applies to vibration. Just because you can access a frequency doesn't mean it serves you. There's an important clarification here. because the phrase "trust your feelings" only makes sense within a specific framework. If you're sitting on a park bench believing there's a monster in the bushes, the feeling of fear isn't confirming the monster, but it is confirming that the belief you're holding is pulling you away from well-being. Getting up from that bench is still the right move, not because the monster is real, but because staying there while gripped by fear keeps you in a vibrational place that doesn't serve you. Trusting your feelings only becomes a reliable compass after you understand what your guidance system actually is. You are more than your physical body. There is a non-physical, expanded version of you, source energy, that is always oriented toward well-being, always knowing, always loving. When your thoughts align with that, you feel good. When they diverge from it, you feel discord. That feeling of discord isn't a punishment. It's information. When someone tells you that you're a good person and something in you recognizes the truth of it, that's resonance. When someone tries to make you feel unworthy and you feel a gut-wrenching discomfort, that's your source disagreeing with the thought being activated in you. The discomfort isn't evidence that they're right. It's evidence that the thought is out of alignment with who you are. This is why the thought matters so much. There is nothing you experience, nothing that comes toward you or stays away from you, that exists outside the thoughts you think. Your thoughts equal the vibration you offer. The vibration you offer is what law of attraction responds to. That response is your lived reality. Everything flows from the thought. When you genuinely understand that the larger part of you lives in love, and you notice that you are living without accessing that love, the discord you feel is the guidance saying, find a way back. There are many ways back. Sometimes it's as simple as looking away from what you're struggling to love, withdrawing your attention from it, activating something else. What you stop feeding stops coming. Anything that keeps showing up in your experience is arriving in response to something active within you. The path forward is straightforward even when it doesn't feel easy. You have two active aspects, the source, loving, expansive part of you, and the human, physically focused part. When those two come into sync, life becomes extraordinary. You are source energy in a physical body, and any deviation from that wholeness makes itself known through how you feel. That's the guidance system. That's the compass. Learn to read it, and everything else begins to organize itself around you. If you want to go deeper into how this guidance system actually works in practice, subscribing will keep this kind of content coming your way.